Welcome to Stacey and All the Things. I need hamburger buns and I hate going to the store, so I'm gonna try to make them. I got online and I found a recipe from Christine's Kitchen. Says these brioche buns are quick, takes like 1 hour. I want to try one more recipe today, which is a Copycat Kentucky Fried Chicken Coleslaw. I have tried this recipe twice and I've tweaked it, so I'm going to give you my version of Copycat Kentucky Fried Chicken's coleslaw recipe, and it is amazing. Wait till you try it. All right, let's get started on these buns. All right, the first thing I'm supposed to do is line a baking sheet with parchment paper. I love these. I don't know if you've ever tried them before. I just get them at a Walmart store. Little single sheets, and they fit the 16-inch jelly roll pan. I love them so much. It's so easy. I don't have to worry about trying to roll it out and cut it, and then it rips down the side. These are the way to go. I love them so much. All right, next I'm going to add my water, milk, my yeast, and my sugar into my mixing bowl. The recipe says to use the paddle. This is the paddle attachment, and I'm supposed to put those ingredients in the bowl and mix it just a minute and then let it sit for a little bit and let the yeast bloom. My milk, my sugar, and the yeast. Okay, we're gonna let that sit for just a minute and let that yeast get activated, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. This is what the yeast looks like after 5 minutes. I'm gonna wait just a tiny bit longer. I'm gonna give it 5 more minutes. All right, that's what my yeast looks like. Now we're gonna add in both of our flours, our egg, and our salt. The flour, all right, the recipe says to mix those up, and then slowly I'm gonna mix in my butter pieces. That's 2 tablespoons of butter, and I have it cut into smaller pieces. And once those are incorporated, then I'm supposed to add the dough hook and take off the paddle hook, and then mix it for 8 to 12 minutes, I think. So let's go to that point. All right, last piece. That dough looks pretty sticky. All right. Kind of feels good. All right, let's add the dough hook, and then we're gonna knead it for 8 or so minutes. This dough hook on. All right, we got that going. We're just gonna let that go for between 8 to 12 minutes. I'm supposed to check it in the middle to see how the moisture content is, if it's too sticky. Okay, let's shut this off for just a minute. Okay. I mean, it feels sticky, but I am gonna throw this out on a floured surface when I'm done kneading, and knead it a little bit with a little bit of flour. It says right now if the dough is too sticky to add a tablespoon or two of flour. If I was to try to make hamburger buns with this right now with this texture, it would be a big fat fail. But I am going to roll this out on a floured surface and knead it for just a moment. So maybe that little bit of extra flour would make all the difference. So I'm just gonna leave it, and we're gonna finish. We're gonna knead it for another 4 to 6 minutes, and then we'll come back. We're going to finish up these dishes, and then I'm going to get my floured surface ready so that I can knead it by hand for just a minute. Oh, it's looking good. Oh my gosh, this is making the camera shake. So incidentally, I shouldn't say incidentally, because it means everything, what I'm about to say. So the recipe called for, you remember it called for 2 cups of all-purpose flour and then 1.5 cups of wheat flour. So I have a scale, and I don't hardly ever use it. But I know that if you use a scale, your baking comes out better. So I got my scale out, and I weighed my flours, and it came out to 240 grams of all-purpose flour, 240 grams of all-purpose flour, and 170 grams of wheat flour. Oh, I'm glad I waited and didn't add anything. This is so great. All right, let's let this finish, and then we're gonna roll it out. All right, I'm gonna check the window pane test. It's pretty sticky, a little bit sticky. Ooh, look at that. That's stretching pretty good. I'm probably gonna let that go for like 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes, and then we'll check it again. So you remember how sticky it was when I first started? Now look, that's just from letting it go on its own. I did not add any more flour. This is gonna be amazing hamburger buns, I can tell. Okay, let's check it again. I think it's ready. All right. I'm gonna pour this out on my counter here. I'm gonna knead it by hand for a little bit. And then we're gonna make hamburger buns. It's a little bit sticky. Look at that. I knew I kept this spatula out for a reason. I didn't wash it with the rest of the dishes. Okay. More flour. Read the recipe again and see what it says. I know I'm supposed to turn it out and knead it for a minute. That's probably good. I want to get it in the pan and I don't want to add too much flour. All right, I'm going to stop for a minute and read the recipe. Gotta spank it. Okay. I'm done kneading. It said just knead it for just a minute. You don't have to like knead it. This recipe makes 8 hamburger buns. So let's cut those up and we'll get them on the baking sheet and let them rise. And then we're going to put some butter, not butter, some milk and egg wash on them and then bake them. And I think it's like 15 minutes on 400. Okay, here we go. Let's hope it doesn't stick to the counter. All right. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So each one of these gets to be a half. All right. All right. I actually want this to stick to the counter so I can do my little roll. It's a little bit sticky. Oh, that's nice. All right. I think I need a little bit more flour. That was perfect. Yes, yes, yes. All right, let's get this one going. I think that first one's a teeny bit small compared to the rest of these. This one feels way bigger. This one's the biggest one so far. All right, let's get this last one on there. We can move on to the coleslaw, which I'm excited for. I've tried it twice, and okay. That's what I got. That's what I got. They're just rising so nice. All right. This one's not very good. It's stuck on there pretty good. All right, I'm gonna go grab a towel to put over the top of these, and I will be right back. All right. That's what the recipe says to do. Okay. I got my towel on. While these are rising, the recipe said 15 minutes, but my yeast went a little bit slower. So I'm gonna give it more time to rise. And while I'm waiting, I'm gonna turn the oven on 400. And then I'm gonna get my egg wash ready so that I can put my egg wash on. And then we should be ready. I'm gonna clean this mess up, and then we're gonna start the other recipe. Cream. It's actually half and half. All right, let's do this. Heat this up a little bit. All right, and then we're gonna read the recipe one more time so I know when to put this on. And then we'll come back. This is what we're gonna use to cut up our cabbage for our coleslaw. So here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna cut the cabbage in pieces that will fit in here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut them up the way I like them for the coleslaw. And then we'll put them in a large bowl, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to make the sauce. Here's my cabbage. Isn't that the cutest little cabbage? All right, let me grab a knife. So I'm gonna cut these. I don't really think I want to make the whole recipe. I just want to make a half a recipe. So take out the core, slices that'll fit inside the food processor, and then we'll chop all these up. And then we'll make our sauce. I'm gonna cut all these in half. Okay, that's about all I want to put in there. Okay, this is a tiny little thing. Oh, let me back this up a little bit. You see it's got a leaf on top. I just give it a little shake. Sometimes it gets it, sometimes it doesn't. That looks good. All right, I'm gonna put this in a bowl. got my machine all loaded up here. We're gonna set the lids on. There we go. Now, one thing I forgot is carrot. I was gonna pick up some carrots and I did not do that. All right, last of our cabbage. My neighbor moved. Usually I could call my neighbor and ask her for to help me out, but they bought a house. Nice. All right. That's going right in the sink. Well, I'm going to hang on to it. I'm going to look and see if I got a carrot. Stand by. No carrot. Dang it. All right, I'm disappointed. I can't find my basting brush. I actually think I threw it away. I think I couldn't get something out of the bristles, and I got rid of it. It's time. So I'm going to take this little paper towel, and I'm going to pretend like it's a basting brush. Let's see if it'll work. I don't know. What do you think, guys? I was kind of worried when this one stuck to the pastry, to the parchment paper. I was worried that they're going to just stick and they're not going to come off the bottom. I don't know. I've never had that happen before, so we shall see. This is working okay. Now I got to put a pastry brush on my list. Michael's going to be here in a week or so. Probably exactly a week from now. And we'll just go shopping together. Give us something to do. I think it'll be great. Now look at all that waste. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that in the fridge and I'm going to pour it in my eggs in the morning. I'm not throwing that away. All right, in the oven they go. The recipe said 13 to 15 minutes on 400, and you're supposed to bake them until they're golden brown. So I got to keep an eye on them. Cross your fingers. Oh, that right there is 11 minutes. I pulled them out. I don't want them to get any browner. I'm just hoping they're finishing cooking in the pan. Woo, those look good. Nice, nice. Recipe says I could do this. Gotta have butter on your buns. Gotta butter your buns. Nice. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Let's cut into it. I made these because I made a roast and I have a little bit left, and I wanted to do a roast beef sandwich for my lunch tomorrow for work. And I didn't have any bread, so I wanted to make these brioche buns, and I'd never done it before. I'm so excited. All right, let's cut into it. All right. I brought those out early because they were brown. I didn't want them to get, I hope they're done inside. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so excited. I think those are perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Mmm. All right. Let's taste it. I mean, it's the perfect texture for a hamburger bun, but you know. Warm. That is so good. It's not like a sweet bun. It's not. You could totally eat this with a meat or chicken salad. Yes. I'm so proud of myself. So good. All right. I decided to put the coleslaw in the fridge. I don't want my recipe to look naked without the carrot. It's too late to text somebody and ask if they have a carrot. One of my neighbors, is too late. So tomorrow I'm gonna go get some carrots and then we're gonna finish this recipe. Very, very good. The recipe said that once they cool, then you can wrap them up, put them in the freezer, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do because it's just me. It's just me. I can't eat 8 hamburger buns all in one shot. I mean, I could sure try, but that was very good. What should I put on it? Honey, cherry. I have cherry jam. It's so good just by itself. I wish you guys could taste this. Well, you can. Just do the recipe. I'll leave all the stuff down in the goodie box so you can find the recipe. And a link to her website. I hate blog sites because they just hound you with commercials and ads, and I hate them. But when I saw how fast her recipe was and I had all the ingredients, you know, and you can hit that little jump to the recipe button, that's what I did. Still, I got kicked out twice, but I went back in and finished it. These are so amazing. I'm trying to decide what to put on the other half. I haven't really had dinner yet. Maybe I'll do chicken salad. I bought some chicken salad. All right, let's try it. I feel bad for you. You're not here. All right, I got it out. I bought this at Aldi's. You know, like the chicken salad that has the celery and stuff in it. That's what I'm gonna put on this other half. That'll be my dinner. It's pretty late. I gotta work tomorrow. I signed up for overtime because I gotta fix my car. It's been rattling and carrying on, and I want to try to make it last at least another 60 or 80,000 miles. So you gotta take care of it. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. I got my chicken salad on. Cheers to ya. We'll see you in the morning after I go get my carrot, and then we'll finish our recipe. It's the next day. It's in the evening. I went did my overtime. We're gonna finish this coleslaw recipe. So let's go ahead and chop up the carrot. I went and got my carrot, and then we'll assemble all the other ingredients. All right. Let's see, I need a knife. That knife's my bread knife I used to cut my bread last night. Oh my goodness, wasn't it amazing? So delicious. All right, I'm just going to cut these in small pieces like this, and then we're going to put them right into the food processor. I want to cut these into the same type shape pieces as the cabbage. So that they all match. Something's not right. There we go. Okay. That looks amazing. Let me grab a spatula really quick. Okay, let's get all this carrot in there. There's a big chunk. Try it. All right. That looks pretty good. That was just one carrot. All right. Now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Now this is just half a head of a very small cabbage. So into this bowl, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. And if you think that's a lot, the other recipes add quite a bit more. In this little container right here, I've pre-measured 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. In here I have apple cider vinegar, and I always use the apple cider vinegar with the mother. So I shake it up and get all those little bits on the bottom shook up really good. And then I went ahead and measured it out, and this is 1.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then I'm going to add a heaping 1/4 cup. This is a 1/4 cup, and then that's probably another tablespoon on top. But I like my coleslaw, I like it really juicy and with lots of sauce, so I added a little bit more mayo. I wouldn't do Miracle Whip because it already has sugar in it. I don't know, it just has a different flavor than the traditional mayo. Get all that out of there. All right, that's pretty good. Let me put that in the sink. All right, and then now we're just gonna mix this up. Gonna mix it up and see how it looks. Kind of felt like my cabbage was bigger. All right, let me just get a spoon and taste this. All right, let's taste it. It's sweet enough. I'm going to double the sauce. I don't feel like the amount of cabbage and carrot that I have, I don't feel like the sauce was enough for the amount. So I'm going to redo all of those, and then I'm going to put them in, and then we'll come back. All right, I'm adding this apple cider vinegar. We're going to do one and a little too much. 1.5. I'm going to do our salt. Get my eyeballs on here. All right. Let's see. We're going to do a quarter cup of salt. We're going to do a quarter cup of pepper. Cup. And then we're going to do some onion powder. Onion powder, we're going to double it. 1/2 teaspoon. Am I saying cups? 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper. My goodness. Gotta pay attention. All right. Now, grab my little whisker. I actually think there is something to putting your sauce together ahead of time and letting it sit. Sugar. Okay. Gotta get the sugar in. All right, we're gonna do 2 tablespoons. If I can find a tablespoon. Wash my tablespoon because I only have one. I guess I could wing it and just use a, teaspoon. All right. It wasn't quite dried out. Okay. Whisk this in. All right, when I do that, I can feel the granules of the sugar. I can feel those granules. You want to let this marry. You could make this part ahead and then put it in the fridge. All right, let's try it. That is really good. I just want that sugar to not be granulate. I'm just gonna let that sit a second. Let me check this other. I mean, you can tell that it's all coated with what I put in before. See that liquid in the bottom is starting to come? I don't know if you can see it. There's a gloss. I'm gonna put this other on top. All right, here we go. right. Let's mix this up. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. And you know the key will be to put it in the fridge. Like you make it a couple of hours ahead. And you put it in the fridge and let it get good and cold and let it marry. All those. All right. I'm going to try it again now. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. I'm glad I did that. All right. Let me grab a spoon. That is very good. It's sweet enough. It's tart enough. You can taste the onion, but it's not overpowering. I just think that this coleslaw needs to marry. I want to show you the texture of it. Look at this. It's saucy. It's got sauce in it. I'm going to put this in the fridge and let it get cold and have time for all the flavors to come together. Perfect summer side dish. It is absolutely delicious. Thanks for joining me. I just have to show you. Can I tip this? Look at this sauce. Isn't that just absolutely amazing? It just tastes amazing. I'm so excited to share this with you. I've been wanting to do this recipe for a while and share it with you. I've tried it a couple of times. So I love it. It's the perfect side dish. You know, just make it a couple of hours ahead and let it marry and then take it to your party. It's delicious. And my first time making beautiful brioche hamburger buns. I've never done that before. So I just want to remind you to keep going and keep growing because we always have things to learn. We'll see you here next time on Stacey and All the Things.